I'm a little down today. I'll be fine after I exercise or make this video, get a few likes on social media, play a little music, or watch some YouTube videos where I can feel smart and laugh at fools. See, I gotta keep my mojo working, which is what I want to talk about here today. Zooming way the hell out for a minute to zoom back in. Inanimate objects exist because they're durable, and you're not one, nor is any living being. Durable objects just degenerate slowly. Living beings are fragile, so we have to work to protect ourselves against degeneration and to regenerate what degenerates. Being is a great term for what you are, a verb and a noun, active and static. You're busy being a being. Remaining a being takes effort that durable objects can't and don't make. They don't struggle for their own existence. Like today, even if you just vegged out on the couch, congratulations, you still managed to be productive. You generated 330 billion cells to replace your fragile cells that died today. Check out this video of a decomposing corpse played backwards. Wait, too gross? Okay, then an eggplant. That's what your 24/7 bod regeneration hustle is like. You actively regenerating your body to remain a being. Got to, because you're fragile, not durable. You do this bod regen hustle unconsciously without thinking about it or feeling it. Your body's adaptive habits of self-regenerating just churning away below your radar. Especially ours, what with all our modern creature comforts. We're plugged into all sorts of modern services that take care of our bods. We hardly notice them turning away. Most of us, even scientists and philosophers, talk as if your body is a durable machine that houses your thoughts and emotions. Just like a tugboat for lugging around your consciousness from place to place. With our bodies regenerating on automatic like that, our feelings become our priority, whether we know it or not. Your skin regenerates itself without you thinking about it. But feeling comfortable in your own skin, that consumes your attention. Your priority is keeping your feeling of well-being from degenerating. We humans focus on regenerating our feeling of okayness, and then some, our fabulous exceptionalness. What our bods do automatically, our feelings do actively. We don't necessarily notice ourselves doing it, but we are, protecting against mojo degeneration and regenerating our mojo when it degenerates. We're all fighting emotional gravity, all the shit we deal with day after day. It takes its toll on the old mojo. So yeah, we take mojo regenerative pit stops to keep our spirits up, get our groove back, or elevate out of wherever it falls when our feelings are hurt, our tools don't work, every little inconvenience, insult, and disappointment. Lots of those, right? We got our reassuring friends, our liked selfies and memes, the treats we buy ourselves, the hours we spend watching videos identifying with heroes and badasses fighting the fools and a-holes. Little mojo replenishing pit stops to keep us feeling comfortable, if not proud, in our own skins. The Zen master Suzuki Roshi said life is like getting on a boat that's about to sink. Maybe he meant that we're each doomed to die, but I think it's more than that. Life is like getting on a leaky boat that is constantly at risk of that sinking feeling. Though not a boat, more like treading water, trying to keep those sinking feelings from drowning us. Sometimes we act like it's okay that we're doing all this mojo regeneration work. We shop talk the cool new stress reduction practices to combat burnout. We're not ashamed of our restorative mindfulness meditation, rejuvenating vacations, and recreational activities, literally recreating or regenerating our mojo. And then sometimes we act like we're just durable objects, as though people ought to be maintenance-free machines, like we're tough, durable, and can withstand anything. We accuse people of getting upset as though it's a rare and discrediting illness. We sneer at people's self-indulgent selfies, as though mojo replenishing pit stops are only a thing for deficient souls. I call that Robo Envy, wishing we were durable machines that shouldn't need any mojo replenishment. These days, everyone's talking about whether AI bots are gaining consciousness. Those who argue that they aren't say AI has no thoughts or emotions, so they're not grounded in reality. I'd say it's more fundamental than that. AI doesn't even do bod maintenance. It has no skin in its own game and doesn't have to fend for itself. It's not struggling for its own existence the way we beings do. It's just switch positions on durable machines. We feed it switch positions that mean something to us. It's a machine that turns switch position inputs into switch position outputs that we then interpret. It's doing no interpretation itself. To regenerate ourselves, we have to stay grounded, interpreting reality. Even your skin's regeneration is grounded in local reality. For example, responding to real-world changes in the weather. But here's the thing. When we're sad, angry, disappointed, or otherwise feeling like we're sinking emotionally, we tend to get ungrounded. Not just unstable, but losing touch with reality, mostly through a change in how we use words. Words can be grounded in reality, but it's optional. We can use them to describe reality, but we can also just use them like animal sounds, involuntary calls. When you stub your toe or someone angers you, you might blurt a swear word to ease the pain. The word shit can mean poop, but if you call someone a shit, you don't even have to think about its real meaning. It's the feeling of the word that matters to you. All you need to know is that it's bad. When our mojo is threatened and we feel flustered, we tend to get robotic, ungrounded, lurching automatically to blurt whatever familiar phrases make us feel comfortable in our own skin again. We'll say anything to feel innocent, spouting whatever words sounds make the stinging, sinking feeling go away. Uplifting words about ourselves and downgrading words for whoever we feel is depleting our mojo. No, you shit. I'm honest, kind, reasonable. Such word blurting is a dangerously ungrounding kind of mojo regeneration. I'll call it getting chimperious. Monkey dominance expressed in imperious words. It's like we've each got a chimp on our shoulders, coaching us to parrot whatever word sounds might save us from drowning. They're throwing us hollow hole lifesavers, words with their meanings hollowed out. We can get addicted to chimperiousness to keep us from drowning, or just for the advantages it gives us, lifting our heads out of water, lifting us up by dunking others down. For example, MAGA supporters proudly declare themselves born-again Christian patriots, and their enemies woke traitors. Woke and born again mean about the same thing, suddenly seeing the light. But that doesn't matter. All that matters to MAGA is that born again flatters them and woke discredits their rivals. It's a standard sado-narcissistic dunking move, treading water in a crowded pool, dunking others to lift ourselves up. It's ungrounded from reality and even from politics. It's pure chimperiousness. Such loaded but hollow words become like brand names in the hands of cliques and cults of any kind. Left, right, spiritual, atheist, whatever. None of that grounded stuff matters. Even common terms like patriot and traitor, holy and heathen, freedom fighter and terrorist become proprietary, exclusive brand name terms in the mouths of cultists. A cult can claim authority on what words like traitor and patriot mean without ever bothering to consider the words' meanings. I worry about AI bots, but more about people getting robotic. Their loaded word sounds getting more and more ungrounded from reality. Reality only tolerates so much bullshit. We could drown in our own ungrounded words. Stay human and appreciate your 24/7 mojo regeneration hustle, the emotional equivalent of regenerating your daily 330 billion cells. And congratulate yourself for doing it in healthy ways. When you get a mood boost off of exercising, posting selfies, or fantasizing about being as heroic as fictional characters while remembering that it's fantasy, you're doing a little something good for the world. You're getting the mojo boost you need without joining some robotic, ungrounded, chimperious cult. 'Cause I tell ya, people be tripping, and I wouldn't put it past me. People be tripping, and I wouldn't put it past me when I tell you that I'd really like it if you'd subscribe. You just clicking that little button makes a huge difference for me. Thanks a lot.